Hey guys, TommyBryson here, and as you guys can probably tell, I'm not really that happy. Now, I recorded this video right here around 3 days ago, but I didn't post it because I wanted to wait until I have all the information first to then make this video. It's only fair to you guys, to me, and also the application Acorns. Now, the idea is this, guys, okay? Acorn had a huge, massive change that either is going to benefit you in taxes or is going to hurt you when it comes to taxes. And now, in my case, it's going to hurt me a lot. So if you did what I did, which I'm going to show you guys right here, well, you got hurt. But if you basically didn't do anything whatsoever, then you didn't get hurt, and you're most likely going to benefit from this massive change. But the point is, when I made this video, I'm going to break down three things, okay? I call Acorns to find out exactly what they did and why they did it, and also I'm going to tell you exactly am I going to continue using Acorns, and lastly, what actually happened to me and how much money I'm actually going to owe in taxes. And before I get started, guys, if you guys are new here, I post videos every single day, so make sure also subscribe and hit the bell so you're notified, and also destroy the like button. Now here is exactly what happened, guys, okay? On August 28th, Acorns basically sold a ton of investments and replaced the entire portfolio with a new one. So basically means that my modeling aggressive portfolio is basically a brand new one with different investments. The only thing that is the same here is just the large company stocks invested with VOO, and that's with Vanguard, investing to the top S&P 500 companies, okay? That's the only thing that's the same, but everything else is different. It's different investments. Now, whenever you're switching investments, it means you have to sell your old ones to then go ahead and buy the new ones. Now, most likely, you guys probably know this. Because of the whole pandemic and everything that happened, a lot of people had a negative return on their entire portfolio, which means that when Acorns went ahead and sold those investments right there, they're basically going to save money when it comes to taxes. But for some of us, well, guess what I did, guys, okay? When the stock market went down, I went ahead and I invested a ton more money because basically everything was at a discount. That's what I do. So in my case, my portfolio was up around 19%, and still till this day, my portfolio right now, guys, I'm going to show you guys, is up around 17%. So I'm still making a ton of money because, again, I invested when my entire portfolio was down by negative 10% or negative 15%. I invested a ton more money. But the point is this, guys, okay? Because I was up, it means that now I'm going to have to pay capital gains tax on all of the money I actually made when I didn't have any plans whatsoever to actually pay any taxes at all when it came to my investment. Because my point is this, I am never going to sell. And on top of that, I thought that Acorns made this change without telling us, the customers, that they actually made it. So when I made this video, initially, the call, I'm going to show you guys right now, I was mad most of all because of that. I thought they didn't communicate themselves. But in reality, I went on my entire email and I found the email. It's a very small email that told me everything. Hey, Tommy, we're going to make a change. Here's why we're going to make the change. And now that I know that, I'm kind of like, okay, so they did tell me, so I can't be mad. But in reality, what would have happened if I saw that email? And by the way, this should have sent a notification to your phones directly at least 3 days before they did everything, like over and over again. That way you actually saw it, but I never saw that at all. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. Comment down below, let me know. But the entire point is, guys, if I knew prior, would I have still closed my entire Acorns account? The idea is no. This portfolio right here, the new one, is still solid, although it is a lot less riskier, and although it's probably not going to get you the same amount of gains, right? But I think they did this because basically right now during the pandemic, people are nervous. So basically said, hey, let's switch over to something that's less aggressive and more conservative. That way people don't really have to get into the shock of losing a ton of money, at least on paper. And that's the idea, right? But in my case, I wasn't worried whatsoever, so I didn't really care about it whatsoever. So what I would have done was basically, if I knew about it, I would have transferred my portfolio over from Acorns to M1 Finance and then invested into Acorns with the new portfolio, but I would have never sold my investment, so that way I would have never paid any tax on it. And that's what got me so mad, that I didn't know what the heck they were actually doing. So I'm going to show you guys right here my statement and what actually happened. By the way, guys, this is my statement right here, but in reality, if you want to see yours, just go to Acorns and click statements and go to August 28th, and that's where you're going to see exactly what they sold and what they actually bought. So in my case, okay, they sold 6 of my holdings. I have 7, by the way, 7 holdings. They sold 6 of them and only kept 1, and that's the biggest one. But in reality, they sold around $19,833.81 worth of my investments, which basically means that I'm going to get hit with a massive tax bill. And most likely, most people out there are not going to get hit with a massive tax bill because basically they were losing money. But because I bought when the market dipped like you're supposed to, well, I'm going to get hit with a tax bill. And I did the math. It's going to be around $700 or $780. But the point is, although it might not sound like a lot of money, when I started investing, I started with $7. So to me, $700 is still a ton of money. I don't care how much money I make. It is still money that I would have not had to spend. And then here's what happened, guys, okay? So they sold all of these investments right here, and now they bought these ones right here. Except for VOO, I already had that one, but everything else, like for example, the medium company, small company stocks, international company stocks, iShares 1 to 5 years, and also the corporate aggregate bonds. The idea is these are all new ones. And these are all great investments, a lot less risky in a way because basically they're more diversified in a way. But in reality, now I have these new investments, which are pretty solid still, but now I have a massive tax bill. And that's what I was not happy about. So basically, if you're watching this video right here and you weren't aware of what happened, well, now you are. And yes, you got notified through email. You just probably didn't see it. And I thought they should have sent out an entire notification to your phone saying like, hey, we're going to change everything up. So here it is before everything happens. But in reality, the new portfolio is still pretty solid. It's a lot more conservative. You're going to still make money in the long term. But basically, when the market does drop, you're not going to experience such a big drop like we did back in August and stuff like that. But this way, people are less concerned about it. But I didn't care about it. It's because it's basically you're going to buy when it's on discount. That's what you're supposed to do. But in the end, guys, now you guys know why I'm mad, but I did get notified, but I didn't see it. So that's what happened here. But the point is, you will probably get a tax bill if you had any money in Acorns also, so keep that in mind. But here's the video of the entire call and what actually happened.
Thank you for verifying all that for me. What can I do for you today?
I'm just calling in today because I've been investing with you guys since back in, I think, December of 2018 or so. And I started out with a portfolio. It's called Moderately Aggressive, made out of 7 individual investments in ETFs and also bonds. And then I invested a chunk of money, so I have like around like $31,000 portfolio in there. But I contribute like around maybe like 27 or 28,000 of my own money in there. And the idea is that all of a sudden, my whole plan is to basically just invest with you guys and hold on forever because I don't want to like any like tax and stuff like that. But the point is that all of a sudden, I'm checking my account today, and I noticed that my portfolio, Moderately Aggressive, like it's the same, but now you guys just rolled over all of the investments over to somewhere else. So it's like new ETFs, also new bonds I'm investing into, and then I checked my statements. I think this one was back in August 28th, and the idea is that you guys did some rebalancing, which is normal to get the balance of the portfolio back to normal, whatever it is. But the idea is that you guys did some rebalancing sells to like change over those investments to a whole different thing. So now my whole question is that when you guys sold those investments, now I'm gonna be responsible for the gains that I had, right? Because I had like a 19% gain in my portfolio.
Yeah, but because it was based off of our company and that we decided to change what our portfolios were based on, you shouldn't be affected by this particular one.
What do you mean there? Because okay, so I do finance, right?
I know there are some tax implications when you do rebalance a portfolio, usually, or when you change it.
Yeah.
With this particular one, since it was done through our company, and it was because it was a company-wide change in what the portfolio was, this specific one isn't going to affect you. Now, the gains that you get from the changes that were made, you might be affected by that, but that's just because the gains that you get from the new portfolio. It wouldn't necessarily, you might have gotten that anyway. So I don't know if that helps to explain a little bit more, or...
Because the thing is, I study finance and I do finance, and I know, for example, when you rebalance an account, any capital gains that gets like is short term, you're gonna get taxed on it. So you're saying like it's a company wide change. I don't know like if that's relevant or not. Like when it comes to like the taxes I'm gonna have to pay on this account.
because of the
Yeah, I mean, when you have
portfolio change.
you have short-term capital gains tax and you have long-term capital gains
Yeah.
tax. I'm also an
Yeah.
accountant, by the way. And the idea is that every time you rebalance an account, the way you guys do usually, you might sell some of the high performing ones to then go ahead and buy some of the low performance stocks, right? That's fine too. But the point is, I'm always going to assume some type of capital gains tax in those investments right there. But this time, when you guys sold, for example, like I think it's 6 out of 7 of my investments before prior,
Mhm.
all those gains, I mean, unless you guys switch over the IRS laws or something like that, but all those gains now are going to be taxed. Like, they don't roll over into another ETF. Like, once you sell those investments right there, like with the IRS guidelines of short-term like capital gains, I'm going to be taxed on that now. So I 100% trust you guys when it comes to like the investments you guys make, and I actually like
Yeah.
the portfolio I had prior to this, right? But my concern now is because I also do like YouTube videos and stuff like that, right? So I'm always like recommending you guys, and I recommended over maybe over 500 people, something like that, an insane number of people. And the idea is that now I was never notified about like a company-wide shift of like portfolio change. So was there like, maybe is that my mistake, or did you guys like send a note or a notification saying like, hey, we're gonna switch over the policies? Because now I'm looking at a
Yeah. So
yeah. Go ahead.
emails were sent out for those specific changes. Communication was sent out, so I do apologize if you had missed it or if you hadn't gotten it.
Yeah.
What I can do for you is I can reach out to my internal team to see with these specific changes what the effects would be for you. Because right now, obviously, there's no way to tell, because it wouldn't come around until like tax season later on, right?
There is a way to tell by just a statement and showing that you guys sold my investments. That's how you can tell. But the point is that I also thought that maybe I just missed the emails or whatever. So I went on the email I have registered with you guys, and I looked through all the emails that you guys sent me, and I never got a single email about saying like, hey, we're gonna switch over company policies. And then I spoke to a friend, oddly enough. I don't think this is like relevant or whatever, but I spoke to a friend that also said all the investments now that we have are associated with BlackRock, and the only one associated with, for example, with Vanguard is the VOO, the S&P 500. And the idea is that they also said, for example, that you guys have an investment with like $50 billion with like BlackRock. So I don't care. BlackRock is a really reputable company, but the point is like, now what happens now if I do have, for example, a massive tax tally and I never got notified about it? Is that just within like the legal rights that you guys have also?
I'm not sure. I can go ahead and find out all of this information for you. I'm so sorry. I'm not licensed.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And I don't want to give you incorrect information, obviously, because, you seem very informed, and I don't want to give you incorrect information.
Yeah.
And so what I can do for you is I can reach out about, first of all, I'm going to check and see if we did send you that email, because we should have, and if not, that's another issue in its own thing.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to see if we sent you that email telling you about the rebalance, and then I'm also going to look into see if we can see what tax implications there would be, or if there wouldn't be any.
Yeah.
And see if my team can take a look at that for you.
Yeah. And there's no one available.
Answered in an appropriate way.
Okay. And is there no one available on the team today that you can transfer me over to so I can speak to them? Because the idea is that I make like YouTube videos, right? So I have like over like 240,000 people that watch me, and like I'm responsible for them and what they invest into also. So now I have all these people, they're gonna start asking me questions about, hey Tommy, what happened to my portfolio? I'm gonna do just tax bill, especially like during like the whole COVID-19 thing. Now people are expecting like maybe like a capital gains tax, and in my case, we're talking about maybe like $4,000 like of capital gains tax or whatever it is on that amount. But some people might have even more money, you know?
Yeah, I completely understand. I wouldn't be able to transfer you to anybody who is licensed to answer the questions. The only person I couldn't transfer you to anybody. I could have someone give you a call back that's a resolution specialist, but they're not licensed either. So the best bet for the best information was for me to reach out and then either have one of our licensed investment advisors reach back out to you specifically, or they'll tell me the information and I can reach back out to you. But if you would like to talk to one of the resolution specialists, I can have them give you a call back. But like I said, I think personally the best bet would be for me to reach out to one of our investment advisors for you. But that is completely up to you what you
And
would like to
they're
do.
not available at the moment to be transferred to in any way. The not the resolution, they're not licensed either, so they can't even give me information. I'm talking about, like, for example, people that can't give me the information that I need. They can't speak to me today.
No, they wouldn't be able to.
And when can they reach back to me?
So I would put in a request, and if you want information specifically from them, they would get back to you within the next couple of days.
The next there's okay, because the thing is, like, I'm gonna make a video about this stuff, so, like, my whole thing is, like, I want to make sure, like, you guys, like I have all the information before I make a video about it, but I can't wait, for example, a week and then have people, like, wondering about this stuff.
Okay, well, I can put in a request to have it done as soon as possible.
Yeah.
But then again, it is under their discretion to do that.
I understand that.
But I can definitely put in a request to try to rush it.
I understand that. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
So guys, overall, as you guys can obviously tell, I was pretty mad with the call and also the agent, and I want to apologize to her because I was just mad and frustrated, and I love her customer service and I also love the company Acorns, but in reality, I thought that basically they didn't notify me, and also my people that basically got referred by me, and I was going to look stupid by recommending an app that basically didn't tell customers what the F was actually going on. But in reality, I was wrong about that, and basically they did notify people and let people know exactly what was actually going on. So here's my apology to that, but I'm still pretty mad because basically it was just one email that was sent out. That's what I saw, but I didn't get a notification on my phone or anything like that. But in reality, Tommy, what do you think actually happened here? Okay, well, I think three things actually happened here. Number one, I think during the pandemic, people lost a ton of money and people got confused, and basically people were actually very nervous, right, with Acorns. But in reality, if you know about investing, like I teach it here on my channel, the idea is when the market drops, and if you have a solid portfolio, your whole thing is to go ahead and buy more investments, because basically things are being sold to you at a discount. That's what you're supposed to do. So that's what I did, and I made a ton of money. And the second thing is that basically Acorns probably said, well, if people are very nervous during pandemics and all this stuff and the market drops, let's replace the portfolio to something a lot more conservative, and that way people can worry less but have the same results in the long term. And that's what they did by replacing the entire portfolio. But the casualty of that was basically the people that were making money by doing it correctly that are now going to have a massive tax bill. And on top of that, for people that had a loss, well, they're going to benefit because basically they're going to have that money they lost basically go against their tax, which is actually going to save them money in the end. And lastly, guys, I think it didn't have anything to do with BlackRock. In the end, it's kind of like, hey, we're going to replace the portfolio, so why not replace it with BlackRock Investments? Because again, BlackRock Investments are still pretty solid. So I don't have any problems with BlackRock. I think it was actually pretty good, but I am mad they kind of, in a way, kind of bent a little bit by making the portfolio the way it is now. So Tommy, are you still going to invest with Acorns? Will you stop promoting them? The answer is, I'm still going to recommend Acorns for the average person that basically wants to do investing but doesn't want to have anything to do whatsoever with it, and just want Acorns to do all the work from rebalancing, the investments they actually invest into, and even every now and then during micro downturns to switch over the entire portfolio. Because if they want that, Acorns is the place to go. However, for me, I was 100% happy with sticking with my portfolio for the next 10 to 20 to 30 to 40 years, and I did not care about basically the short-term effects that was actually going on at the moment. So if you're like that, then you probably got hit with a tax bill also. So in my case, Tommy, are you going to invest the same amount of money? The answer is obviously I'm not. I can't lie about that. I'll still recommend Acorns to the average person, but basically what I did was basically I made a mirror portfolio of my old Acorns portfolio in M1 Finance right here. And right now I have around 36K invested here, and it's the exact same portfolio I had in Acorns, right? But this one, I made it. This one, it can't be changed unless I change it, and that's what I want. And I want to stick to this for the next 10 to 20 to 40 to 50 years. I don't plan on changing it when the market goes down or when it goes up. I'm going to invest the same amount of money every single month, and on top of that, when the market goes down, I'm going to invest more money. So in the end, I still recommend Acorns to the average person that wants a company to do everything for them. But if you want a little bit more freedom, then you might want to go with M1 Finance, where you can make the same portfolio and stick to it no matter what, okay? That's what I recommend. So from now on, you'll get two links in the description, the Acorns link and also the M1 Finance link. But in the end, Acorns is still solid for investing with your eyes closed. And when finance is still solid to invest the same way I invested with Acorns, but with certainty that my portfolio is not going to change. And that's something that's important to me. But guys, I want to be 100% honest here, okay guys? I want to invest this way, but if all you want to do is basically just have Acorns do everything, that is also fine, okay? Because if you're comfortable with that, then that's great. Just do Acorns. Acorns is still great. It's still amazing. I still recommend it. And that's why I apologize to the company and the agent by thinking they didn't send a message out telling people exactly what would happen. Acorns is a very, very, very good company, okay? But I want more freedom to know, hey, my portfolio is never again going to change, okay? So I'm going to invest the bulk of my money in this account right here in M1 Finance. But that's the whole point of this video, guys. Hopefully this video made a lot of sense, and hopefully it helped you, and hopefully you guys actually got something out of it, okay? I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching. As always, like this video if you liked it. Also, if you're new here, subscribe and hit the bell so you're notified. And before I go, if you want to text me, well, just subscribe to my Patreon link down below, or just DM me on Instagram, TommyBryson. And if you want to watch a video, basically, on my portfolio in Acorns before it changed and before everything happened, here's that video right here. Let's see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and as always, peace.